Welcome to Awakening and Relating.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Brad.
Join us as we unpack deep awakenings, conscious relating, and further awakening through intimacy.
Today on Awakening and Relating, we're going to talk about connection, specifically connection with your intimate partner. And, you know, maybe we can lend a little bit of a helping hand and just kind of unpack some of, you know, what goes on. Also, we've got a huge announcement that we're going to drop today. So stay tuned to the end and you'll find out more. This will be kind of a short one. But I want to make sure that, you know, when we're talking about this, when I'm talking about connection, it's not just, you know, eye contact or physical touch. Like, we're really talking about a deeper connection. It doesn't always work for you and I. I think that's something to point out. It's not like we've found some secret recipe and, you know, there are times where you will feel like disconnected or I'll feel disconnected or we both will. But I think a lot of what we're trying to work on together as we grow individually, but also as a couple, is to find ways to deepen our connection just in day-to-day life, just everyday circumstances, and furthermore in intimate situations. And so that's what we're going to kind of play around with here today and see if we can shed some light on, you know, where things you might be able to make some improvements per se.
Yeah. And I think to start is in working on having this deeper connection in relationship or with other people is the connection that you have with yourself and at the level of intimacy with yourself.
Yeah.
Not just feeling connected or tuned in, but really like dating yourself, romanticizing your own life, really treating yourself how you would treat your partner, or how you've envisioned this ideal relationship with someone else, giving that to yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah. And for you, that was a big step a couple of years ago, right? Like that, finding this deeper love for yourself. And I think that's kind of what we're getting to at the end of the day, is that you can't share this really, really deep connection unless you've found a way to connect deeply with who you are, right? And to become more authentic and, quite frankly, vulnerable. Like, that's part of the challenge. I think for men, that's a big challenge, right? Is to become, to really get into a state of allowing and become vulnerable with the person that you're with. I'm here to say it's okay. You know, it does bring up some fear, right? Because most people don't live authentically, and, you know, we strive to, but there's still an ego structure at play, you know, and there's moments where we go very deep into states of awareness and sit or rest as consciousness, but they're kind of fleeting. You know, it's not like I stay in a permanent state of, you know, conscious awareness all day long. You know, I don't think you do either, but, you know, that's kind of what we strive for. And you can do this with your partner. And I think that's, you know, again, what we're trying to show here today is that if you can build that deeper relationship with yourself, then you can open up more with your partner and you can expand into different areas, not just pleasure. You know, pleasure is wonderful, but it goes beyond that, I think.
Yeah. But in that, you also figure out, as you're exploring yourself more deeply, learning yourself, you're learning what you actually want in someone else.
Yeah.
And you are solidifying like what you are willing to accept and what you are actually desiring. And you're solidifying that ability to know that you're worthy of this or that.
Yeah.
And it helps pull you into more intentional connections with people because you're looking at it from more of like a heart space rather than the materialistic. Right?
Yeah, because a lot of us settle, like I did a million times, right? And I'm sure people did for me. You know, you wind up settling because it's based on expectation, right? It's the, again, I'll love you if. And that gets us into a lot of hot water. You know, if you're in relationship and it's based totally in a mental space from a mental capacity, it's always a egoic, I'll love you if, you know, and that's what we're trying to show people, is that by working on yourself, you can find a way to open up deeply to who you are authentically. And by sharing that and being vulnerable, you can go to spaces during intimate situations that are otherwise untapped and you're unable to reach.
Yeah. And so if you look at your relationships now, any of them, look at how deep they are. Look at how connected they are, because if you just examine everything that you're already experiencing, that's like an indicator of how deep you're going with yourself. Mm-hmm. So there's like been it was like a major thing. I don't want to say it was like a trend, because like people weren't doing it on purpose, but it was such a common thing for like emotional unavailability.
Yeah. Well, the situationships, right? That's a big thing these days. The situationships, right? Everybody's emotionally unavailable.
But it's because they're turned off, disconnected.
Totally.
Don't know how to have any sort of connection.
Well, we don't have a teacher for this, right? Even sex ed in school doesn't teach you anything about what we're talking about, right? It's about finding love for yourself and being authentic with yourself first and really expressing who you are and being okay with that, right? Unapologetically being who you are. Mm-hmm. And once you can make that turn, and once you can share that with your partner, this whole new world opens up. This whole thing that is just, it's brilliant. It's like a bright light. And then you want more. You want to share more. You want to go deeper with that person, and experience more deep states of connection. And again, I want to point out that it doesn't always work for us. This is a practice like anything else. You practice at it. But what you and I do really well is we do check-ins on the front end. How are you feeling right now? Like, I can notice when you're in your head, and you notice when, and we'll have that conversation. Hey, are you with me right now? Are you in your head? And you don't have to stop. Sometimes we have, but you don't have to just ice the whole thing. You can just try to relax into it, try to let go a little bit more, just try to relax. And if you need, like, for example, like if you need to give me a few minutes to relax, it's just, just relax. Like let's just stay here together, relax and breathe and try to synchronize breathing, hands on heart, stuff like that. That one seated position that I love, the yab yum.
Yeah.
Yab yum. It's wonderful. I think it's Tantra or Kama Sutra or something, but it's great. It's just like you get heart to heart and you're just holding each other, and it's really beautiful. But I think in this statement that I'm making right here, I think another thing to take note of is don't rush in, I guess if it's hot, go ahead, go nuts. But
well, I think I was just having this conversation with a client earlier, but really, so everything is so fast paced, and that's all that we've ever known. It's all we've ever seen.
And the world's getting faster. Like attention spans are shortening.
Yeah, and for women, that doesn't quite work out at all, because we're very emotional. Like our sexual bodies is very connected to the emotional, and we don't want, like, most often, we crave that love, that intimacy in the sexual interactions, the connections with relationships. And over time, we start to notice when we're not honoring that and giving that to ourselves because we don't know. We notice that we start to feel turned off maybe by relationships or by sexual intimacy.
Or numb during sex. Or like all these side effects of not being connected.
And sometimes women often feel too that they're like, well, why is my partner getting so amped up and always has like a high libido, and me, it seems like I have to have everything in position, everything to be right. And it's just because we're women, we take longer. Yeah, the
warm-up phases. Yeah, because guys are very visual. Men are very visually stimulated, right? And with women, like you said, it's more of an emotional connection. So we got to spend some time.
Yes, you have to prime the emotional before the physical is ready. And this is where it gets a little difficult, is because you need that partner that will allow you that time. Even though men are mostly like the sexual energy type, women are more of the emotional, sensual. So they require all of this time at an emotional level, and then physically at a body level, we also require that time too. And in that, when we're able to start practicing that, we're honoring our body more as women, honoring that relationship to our sexual energy, and we open up and open to receive even more of our partner, of that connection, of that intimacy.
Yeah.
Overall.
Absolutely. And I think something I want to point out here is that I think for a lot of us, just again, based on your comment with, life is so fast paced, right? It's like, oh, we've got a half hour. Let's knock this out. Like I don't want to say don't do that, but I want to caution against it. Like find yourself a space where like cell phones aren't ringing, like turn your ringer off, put it on do not disturb, like cozy up the space, like spend some time, with just your hands on each other, like again, following each other's breath, like try to focus on that, and use it as a practice.
Yeah. Something I'll say that too, that we've noticed, like we're not really TV watchers, but we've gotten into a little bit of Netflix.
We watch shows occasionally. Yeah.
And we were both like, hey, we're not actually spending any time together at night. Like we're lacking that connection. So one of the things that we've done recently is like, we'll only watch TV or movies
a couple of nights.
Yeah. Like not every day. Maybe have like one binge day and like watch a movie like twice a week. But the other nights we're going to shut down, be together, skin to skin.
Yeah. Sometimes we just talk. Like sometimes we just talk and go to bed, but it's like you say, there's this rat race thing with humanity, and it's all about the attention grab, right? All your screens are designed to grab your attention, and even if you just put on a movie to want to cuddle up on the couch, like you're physically there in form with the other person, but you're not with them. You're not like you're paying attention to something else. Like all of your attention is sucked into a screen. And so, we've kind of initiated this thing where we're just like, not tonight, we're just going to sit here. We're going to talk. Like you'll read sometimes and we'll just be with each other, know?
For people that, for people that work like regular 8 to 5 jobs in locations and stuff, we like to do bridging activities, or what we call them is bridging activities. So they'll be coming home from work. Okay. They've been working all day in that fast pace. They're stressed. They're overloaded. They're in that mind state. They're not ready. You're not ready to come home and be with a partner. So one of the things that we talk about doing is like coming home, maybe going for a walk by yourself, taking a bath, a hot shower, doing something that is just with you in a way to connect with yourself, kind of eases all the tension.
Yeah, something to decompress from the day so you can let go of all the nonsense. Yeah, if you're working an 8 to 5, which most people aren't. Most people are working like an 8 to 7, 8 to 8. Like everybody's working 50 hours, anymore or plus. And so, to give yourself the space to come back to you before you try to get involved with your partner is huge, is absolutely huge. I like to do breath work. I don't do it every day. Sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times a day, but that for me, like a quick 10-minute breath work is phenomenal and it just puts a little smile on my face, and I'm here and I'm present and I'm not lost in, thought wonderland and all that stuff. And so there's a lot you can do. I think for women, like breath work would work great, but like you said, like go for a walk, take a bath, do something to try to down-regulate like the crazy activity of the mind, because the day gets a hold of you. When you wake up in the morning, the day hasn't really got a hold of you yet. But by 5 or 6 in the afternoon, you've dealt with 2 rush hour traffic scenarios, the boss, the new person, all the customers, and you tend to carry that stuff around with you. So you got to find ways of letting go. And if you can let go of that and then sit with your partner and then spend that extra time up front there still to open up that connection and to maintain it before you go into any intimate or sexual act.
Yeah, those
really
are
changes the game.
The deepest intimacy sexually, physically that we ever have. That is like, whew, like God.
Next level God mode stuff. Yeah.
Those are all after we have the emotional connection, the talks, the deepness. Yeah. Not sitting there and going like, okay, this is when we're going to have intimacy now, but just leaving that behind and just getting together and connecting and then letting it fall into play like that. something that we also do that can be a little bit challenging for people is because when you're living like a normal day-to-day life and you have work and this, it becomes like a routine, and there's this pattern that it's like, okay, now we're in bed for the night, about to go to sleep. We should be having intimacy right now.
Right.
And that's not, it forces us, puts pressure on us to perform when that's the incorrect, not optimal energy that you want to be in.
Your performance anxiety, right? Like, oh, here we go again. And it can actually ruin an intimate relationship. The scheduled kind of, you know what I'm saying? I've noticed this in my own life in the past. You know, I was with a woman who wanted to have a baby, and all of a sudden we've got a schedule, right? We're literally punching a clock, and it takes all of the deeper connection out of it. I mean, I wasn't even awake then, but you could feel it, you know, like this has now become a job. I have to show up. I have to perform at optimal performance levels. And if I don't, you know, here we go. So yeah, I would say do everything you can to take the pressure out of it. And it's not that, you know, if the heat of the moment strikes you, like, attack, go ahead. You know, it's none of that's wrong or bad. It's just, if you're really looking to foster a deeper, more intimate connection with your partner, you really need to slow down. You need to come into yourself. You need to connect deeply with yourself, and then take that extra time on the front end to connect with your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that should get you there. That should get you there.
Get you to like the high.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of like in a very different way, but it's kind of like a runner's high, you know, like there's this, and it's not just a regular sexual encounter high. Like it really can carry you quite a bit throughout the day. And it also, you know, it can erase a lot of the mind games and stuff that have been going on. You know, it just hits stop on those things. And again, it can carry throughout the rest of your day.
Yes. When we're together, most of the time, I get into this trance almost.
Yeah.
Like I'm so in your energy that I'm like not even trying anything, but I'm like moving with you, and like it's like we're one.
Right. It starts to become one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've quite broached that barrier yet, because I haven't totally dissolved. Like, we haven't become one yet, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's close. And so, but it's a practice, right? You could, just like when you sit on a mat to meditate, just like when you do breath work, right? It's a practice, and you don't beat yourself up if it doesn't go the way you want. And that's another thing, right? Letting go of the expectation of what this should be. You know, don't chase the orgasm. Let go of the expectation. Allow it to unfold. Good advice in life, no matter what, right? Allow this thing to unfold without expectation, and it will give you what you need. So I hope that helps everybody. You know, this is a subject we've been talking about for a while. You know, we wanted to address. But do you want to talk about the announcement?
Okay. So, yay!
So it's been a lot of work.
Yes,
it's been a lot of work to get here.
Today is the day that we are officially announcing, launching, going live with Inakawa, which is a nonprofit and awakening center with retreats.
Yeah, we're going to be doing retreats. Some what people call plant medicines. I call them sacraments, but you know, so if you want to know more, you can check us out at inakawa.org. Inakawa is Inekawa. Again, Inekawa.
And it'll be in the link.
It'll be in the description below too. Yeah. And for anybody who's wondering, Inakawa is an anagram for I Awaken. So we're really excited. We've put tons of work into this. We've got some amazing partners that are stepping into this with us. And our first ceremony is officially December 13th through the 15th. So
in Tampa.
In Tampa. So super excited. I hope, you know, if anybody has any questions, you can always hit us up on YouTube or in the comments, or you can go to inakawa.org, and there's contact forms there. And if you feel like registering, you can register there as well. So thank you, everybody, for sticking with us on Awakening and Relating. We hope to see you at Inakawa as well. Much love. Namaste. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on Awakening and Relating.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
See you next week.